guys.
Hello.
This one said, hello. Hello, friends.
You got your best friend and furry son with you.
Yes, I do. So friends, we've been requested to do a video on PCOS. As some of you guys know, I was diagnosed with polycystic ovary syndrome, which is what it's called. So I'll just give you a quick background as to how I was diagnosed. When I was 10, I got my first menstrual cycle. However, it was spotting, and that happened very irregular on and off until I was 16. So from 10 to 16, it was just spotting, no actual period. Then at 16, I thought it was really odd. I would get a period and then it would go away for 4 months and then come back. So I would get a period like every 4, sometimes every 6 months. And I would go to the doctors and the doctors would say, oh, there's nothing wrong with you, you're just developing, you're fine. But I felt like something was wrong. So I kept going to the doctors and they kept saying, you're fine, you're fine, you're fine. So 10 years later, when I was 26 and I was in and out of getting treated for my eating disorder, a nutritionist that I was speaking to was asking me some questions and said, you know, I really think you might have PCOS. You should get looked into. And I told her about my issues with that over the years and she said, just go try again. So I went to the clinic at the time. I didn't have a family doctor and they looked at me like I was crazy and they said, no, you're fine. And I said, could you please just test me anyway? So they did, and I was officially diagnosed after that. To get a diagnosis, I had to have a pelvic ultrasound and I had cysts on my ovaries. Let's go now into the symptoms of PCOS, which, even though it's called polycystic ovary syndrome, not all women have the cysts, but they do have the symptoms. I do have cysts. What it is it's tiny little cysts. They're almost like follicles that are on your ovaries. And what they do is they cause you to have excess male hormones. You naturally, as a female, do produce some male hormones, but PCOS makes you have a lot more. So then in turn, it can make your periods irregular or non-existent. You will have, because of that, you may not be able to have children, or it will be very difficult. And if you do conceive, it may be difficult to stay pregnant without like some sort of fertility or medication. The others, excess facial and body hair, which can be very dark. Dark skin patches under your armpits, under your breasts, in your groin area, acne, fatigue. You are at risk for sleep disorders like sleep apnea. You're more at risk for diabetes and heart disease. The diabetes, because PCOS generally does make you insulin resistant, which also makes you carry more stubborn belly fat, and it makes it harder to lose it. You also can lose hair. Moving on to my symptoms, when I was really heavy, I had sleep apnea. I had very dark patches in all of the places that I had mentioned. I had very bad acne. It was terrible. It caused scars. It was cystic. It was painful. I had really bad fatigue to the point where I would actually fall asleep standing up. That's how fatigued and tired I was all the time. I had very bad bloating. I had absolutely no period without birth control. I had really bad hair loss to the point where I would come away with handfuls of hair every time I washed my hair, and really bad cramping when I had my menstrual cycle. Oh, and also I just felt gross and manly because I had all these extra hormones, and like I couldn't have children because I had extra male hormones. I just didn't feel feminine. But when I started losing weight, I eventually got rid of my sleep apnea. I healed myself from that. My facial, I still get excess body hair, but it's not as dark. The dark patches of skin faded. The acne comes only during my period now, not frequently. all the time. I regulated my period with birth control. However, because my hormones are so crazy, if I am losing weight or losing body fat, I will get 2 periods a month instead of 1. And you know, the idea of not having a period sounds lovely, but you get massively terrible symptoms when you don't have a period. That from my experience anyway. Having 2 sucks, but it does mean I am losing body fat, so I kind of just look at it as a positive. I still can get really bad cramps and aching in my legs and stuff during my menstrual cycle, but I don't get it every single time. I still do lose hair, but only during my menstrual cycle, and it's not as much as it used to be. I do still get fatigued. About 2 weeks before my menstrual cycle, I get really, really fatigued, and then it kind of goes away after I have my cycle. So losing weight helped me alleviate a lot of the symptoms. PCOS does not have a cure. The only way to relieve it or alleviate some of the symptoms is to lose weight through proper diet and exercise. What you can do once you change your diet and start exercising and start losing weight, your symptoms will start getting better. And then the symptoms that you'll still get, you just learn how to manage them. So for example, I taught myself how to wax. So I have to wax every 2 weeks. I do have to shave my legs and stuff every single day because by the end of the day, I do have stubble on my legs. So, I feel more feminine when I do that, to have smooth legs. And the waxing, I can't prevent my hair from falling out, but what I do is I just take extra good care of it. I buy really good products. I use a deep conditioning mask every few days. I clarify it to get rid of buildup and stuff. I just try to take really good care of it. I buy, really good razors. I am on a budget, but I do allow myself these things, wax strips, really good razors, because it helps me manage my symptoms and feel better about it. I also have really good skincare products that I save up for, and buy whenever I run out, because it helps me. It's gotten rid of a lot of my acne scars, and it takes really good care of my skin. So those are the ways that you kind of just manage it. In the summer, because I do have excess male hormones, I was feeling like my female deodorant, even the strong clinical kind, wasn't doing anything. It wasn't cutting it. So it was actually Kyle who said, hey, you have excess male hormones. Why don't you try male deodorant? And I said, but I don't want to smell like a man, but that was a really good idea. So what I did was I got the unscented kind, and you can't tell, and it works. So even though I was really embarrassed, and I'm embarrassed telling you guys now that I have to use male deodorant, I'm not letting PCOS get me down. Whatever it wants to throw my way, I'm finding a way around it. I'm finding a way to manage it and still feel feminine and still feel pretty and still feel like a girl, even when it's trying to take that femininity away from me. So I really wanted to do this video when it was suggested, because I wanted to let you guys know you don't have to feel like that. You might be feeling like I was, really manly and just not in control of your body. Don't let it get you down. If you do want to have children, there are ways. Women with PCOS have children all the time. You'll have to go through fertility and that kind of stuff, but you can get pregnant. There are ways around all of those other symptoms. And yes, it is possible to lose weight with PCOS, because I lost 130 of them. And yes, my belly fat still remains. It is so difficult to get off, but the point is, it does go down. And it is slowly going down, and my stomach is slimming out and leaning out very slowly, but it is doing it. You just can't give up, guys. Don't let PCOS control you. You control PCOS. You figure out a way to manage your symptoms and feel beautiful, because you are beautiful. And don't let anyone or anything or any disease or whatever get you down like PCOS. So if you guys have any questions, please feel free to leave them down below, and I will do my best to answer them. If you have symptoms and you've figured out a way of how to alleviate them, please write that, because I'm sure anyone suffering would love to read those comments. If you have any advice for people dealing with PCOS, please feel free to leave it down below, because I know that people watching this video would love to know that. So thank you. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for watching. And don't forget the most important thing, to like and subscribe. Because if you don't, you're gonna get the sleeping Bubba of doom. Uh-oh. And he's scary.
That's the scariest thing I've ever seen.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.